the envy, jealousy, and hate that Charles Soludo, the Agbero core mechanic of Anambra, the mechanic Agbero called the governor rather of Anambra, if the envy, jealousy, and hate, he asks for a man that cares about him, Peter Obi, a man who is moving about his life. If that envy that Charles Soludo has for him does not consume Charles Soludo, I can assure you there's nothing in this life that will consume him. Now, recall when Charles Soludo emerged as governor of, in 2023, emerged as a governor of Anambra, he's been making a lot of sarcastic statements against Peter Obi. He first of all said that time, all the road that Obi, did, water has washed them away, this and that. Obi came and said, well, I did my best. My dad, brother Soludo, can continue. Nobody can finish everything he wants. Recently, he gave an impression to the public that the Sambila something company, that the brewery that Peter Obi brought to Anambra, he gave an impression that it was almost like fold up. It's nothing, right? Okay. And when Pablo Escobar visited him, Tim Snubu, he said the one that one brought, that is what Peter Obi brought, is a brewery put there, sarcastically. Now, in the course of interview, not recently, not quite long, Peter Obi said the highest taxpayer in that state is the Samila, brewery. Guess what? Yesterday, Charles Soludo office released communicate, that the general public now begin to wonder if this guy is really a professor, or is a honorary, honorary professor, or maybe a roadside one that I bought. Because sometimes with the way Charles Soludo talk, even a panelbita, a mechanic who didn't go to the forward of classroom, has decorum more than him. I'm telling you. He calls himself a professor and is full of beer parlor talk. Now, Charles Soludo, they released a company. What they released? They released the 6th taxpayer of Anambra. Guess what? The 5, they now made this Sambila brewery, made him the 6th on the list. But guess what? The 5 that came before the brewery, they are all financial institutions. And people begin to ask you that, Charles Soludo, you have just confirmed what OBI has said to be true. The banks, any bank, all the bank you name, these banks their headquarters are not situated in Anambra. They are in Lagos. They are in Anambra. They are in Lagos. It's not the branch here that is paying it. You understand what I'm saying? They is paid from the headquarters. We are talking of a company here where the headquarters is situated here, and this company happened to be the one that Peter Obi brought. And you have just proved that you and the predecessor Obiano and you that govern the state is Peter Obi, you guys are failure. If you could point out and a digital company that is there, which happen to be the highest taxpayer, right? So which one other company is also paying or paying such that you or only that you or Obiano, brought to the state? Guys, I'm going to show you people's response, the way they lambasted Soludo, the Agbero of Anambra that called himself a governor. But before then, I want you to take a listen and this thing that Peter Obi said, and we'll come back. We'll go straight to reactions, people reactions. You just got to hear them out. You can't afford to hear. Please do me a favor before we do this. Let me give this a thumbs up so that Facebook and YouTube can recommend it. Please share this video until it gets to the Agbero that called himself Charles Soludo, the Agbero governor of Anambra.
If I tell you what I suffered for that brewery to be built in Anambra State, you will not believe it. I had to go out trying to attract business to Anambra State. The biggest revenue earner in Enugu State is Ama Brewery. Ama Brewery in Enugu. The biggest earner, call it revenue source for Anambra today, is that brewery.
But you said the government stake that he invested had gone down, that it was not smart investment. Those are some of the things they say.
Thank you very much. I wish other people in Nigeria invested in something that went down. That's not smart. I said the biggest revenue earner, the revenue source, is that brewery. That brewery is employing at least directly 500 Anambra people. That brewery is at least giving food to over 5,000 Anambrarians. Those who use it as business distributors, truck drivers, everything. I wish people are doing that. What we do is that we condemn what is that. Because of the way they've been treated, they have the biggest brewery in Ogun State. Have you ever heard anybody say in Ogun State, oh, the brewery is this? They have a bigger brewery in Ogun State.
They say you brought poverty to Anambra. Those are the criticism of Lagos State Governor recently. So they said, they say about they said, I think they accused you and they said under your tenure poverty did increase and all of that. So you had no moral right to go to John Hopkins and talk about poverty.
You are talking about narrow interest and narrow assessment. Go and look at Nigerian Competitive Index. Go and look at it. I was governor of Anambra State from 2006 and I was impeached. So you can say I was governor of Anambra State from 2007 to 2014, 7 years. One of the first places that renovated as governor was industrial estate in Orita. Go there and see the number of industries. Jonathan commissioned at least 10 industries there. She'll come, I'll show it to you, including the brewery that I mentioned. That brewery is the biggest taxpayer in Anambra State. Government.
So in a bid to debunk Peter Obi, you can see Anambra has been drawn to some public domain of claims regarding the fact that Sabmila Brewery is the highest taxpayer in the state. For the avoidance of doubt, while the service has made very momentous strides in increasing the internally generated revenue of the state from its very low between 1.5 billion to 2 billion per month and even much lower in the previous years, the tax collection has consistently moved up to 4 billion per month and with an all-time high of 10.5 billion in the month of May 2025. A double check on the last 2 years' data on tax collection across corporate bodies, including Sabmila, but excluding federal institutions which contribute hugely to the state's IGR, especially the pay-as-you-earn tax, showed the position of the top 6 taxpayers in the state. Now let me show you the table. Now the table is not very clear, but then if you look at it critically, where they put red is Sabmila after 5 banks, and that is why they are getting the criticism they are getting, because banks which headquarters are not in Anambra State are what they are putting. Financial institutions, not companies, financial institutions is what they are putting before Sabmila. Peter Obi said the highest generating taxpayer company in Anambra State. Now let's take reactions. Olugbenga said, truth be heard, the fact that Sabmila ranks 6th only behind financial institutions makes Obi's claim fair. Financial institutions are in every state of the country, so that shouldn't count. The only real production here is from the company. Olusegun Bakare said, Soludo hate will only prove Peter Obi is right because the truth always wins. Sabmila Brewery is ranking behind 5 banks and no company says it all. Like I always said, their hate will only consume them and elevate we obedience. Peter Obi was right all along. Afam said, it's baffling how Charles Soludo, with all his academic bragging rights, have reduced himself to this level of chaotic, embarrassing politics. Makes you wonder if his professorship was honorary or a clerical error. Wajizo said, so the 5 companies above Sabmila, where are their head offices located? Where are their head offices located? Dumbo, Kai. Afam Dilog said, at this point, we need to question Soludo's education. This is very true. Ari Waya said, see better own goal. You will always shoot yourself on the foot when all you think about is revenge. Show us homegrown companies now. You are telling us bank branch with head office in Lagos. Show us the company you have created in the last 3 years now. Sometimes silence is golden, Makachi. Lola Okori said, Peter Obi should print this on big banners for his campaign. Since he left 11 years ago, no governor has attracted any producing or manufacturing company with headquarters domiciled in Anambra that can match his record. Now I get his from consumption to production slogan. He is him. Nobuligwe said, the people that claim Peter Obi invested money into his family business should come and see. Years after and 2 governors, none have been able to attract an investment paying more into the state purse. The Ozunu said, this is actually a slam dunk on Anambra State government. This response was not well thought out at all. So since PO left office more than a decade ago, Anambra State government has not brought in an investment as productive as Sabmila. A distanced on a list with only banks in the 1st to 5th position further proves Obi's point and makes Soludo and Obiano look worse. Omadi said Soludo is envious of Peter Obi. There is no other explanation for this madness. He probably would have wanted to be the man Peter Obi is. Unfortunately for Soludo, Peter Obi is living his destiny Who will tell Chukwuma Soludo that he is suffering from witchcraft? Soludo Boamusu. So Monsieur is asking a very important question, and that question is Soludo really a professor? Maurice Moye said, see on goal, the handler of this account didn't think this through. What are the top 5 on the list producing? Imagine if there was no Submiller. Serious on goal. The General Snow said, you people are jokers. So which company in Anambra pays more tax than the brewery? You just shot yourselves in the foot. Banks are financial institutions that already existed in the state even before Peter Obi, and the branches all over the federation. He built a brewery which, according to the facts you stated, is the highest taxpayer in the state. In a bid to refute Peter Obi, you make a joke of yourselves. What has Soludo built to rival Peter Obi's brewery in terms of tax remittances? Akwa Ibom first on said 12 years after Peter Obi left office, Soludo and OBI now have not been able to attract any business more viable than the one Peter Obi attracted. What a life. Toby said, away from own gold, Soludo claimed Anambra State investment in this brewery is worth next to nothing. How come the company is still the 6th highest taxpayer? Esteem said, lol, laughing out loud. Is this document in itself not a self-indictment on Soludo and Anambra State Internal Revenue Service? What sort of foolery is this? How does this in any way invalidate Peter Obi's claims? Now there are so many reactions, but let me just take this few.